Hello there, and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live. And this is Wilson Waffling Live on Sunday, the 20th of July 2014. My name's Ian Wilson, and I'm waffling to you from. Where is this? Now, if you remember, I set you a challenge last time I was here. I said to you, right, if you can tweet me where this is. And I got the response was amazing, as always. No response at all. No response at all. So I'm going to extend it. So if you can tell me whereabouts I am tweeting from today, have a look. Just behind me there. Then give me a tweet, and you can see my tweet there. There's my Twitter at iWilsonYSJ. Give me a tweet and tell me where I am. And of course, if you are successful, then I'll put you into the hat for at the end of the month, and we'll do a decide now spin, and you may have a chance of having or receiving an I Waffled with Wilson badge. Yes, a badge. And as far as I'm concerned, I think there's only 4 in existence at the moment. And if you wondered who won last month's, then you need to nip back and watch my episode 9, I think it is. No, episode 8, when I'm wearing the yellow jersey. You need to nip back, have a look at that, and you will find out who won the last one. So, thank you to everybody who commented about my tan last week. I must say thank you very much. If you watched Wilson Waffling live last week or watched it on YouTube, then you will have noticed my lovely tan. I've tried to adjust the lighting today, so hopefully I'm not as orange, a bit paler now, but I was having a chat to my brother the other day, who's my computer expert geek. He's really into hardware and everything, and he is hopefully getting around to buying a new computer soon, so I will hop on the bandwagon and order myself a new one. So hopefully quality, new sound, new background images, new everything will be springing into existence with Wilson Waffling. So hopefully you will be able to see the changes as we're coming across. Oh, nearly forgot while I had that up. If you want to join in the chat via Wilson Waffling Live while this is going on, I have it on the other computer there. So by all means, log on. You can use your Facebooks to log on. So log on and give me some feedback or ask me some questions, and I will try to keep asking and answering you. So did you notice something different at the beginning? Who noticed something different? Yeah, hands up. Hands up. Yes, you. Yes, that's right. There was some theme music. There was some theme music, and it's the same theme music from my podcast. So I dragged it over to start off. I'm trying to get a video sort of like up and running and sort of like going at the same time. I tried to nick the one from my channel on YouTube, but I can't seem to download it. I think there's a mix up with the file types or something. But talking about my channel, of course, you remember I set myself a target early on, at the beginning of this year, to try to see how many subscribers. And if you remember, I was going for 25. I was going for 25. That's all I was going for. And somebody said 100, and I said, maybe not. So here we go. Here's the up-to-date number of number of subscribers. Are you ready? Drum roll. Don't know if you can hear the drum roll. Here we go. And ka-ching! 23. 23 subscribers. Okay, that's how many I've got. 23. You could see it just there. Just. I would love that to be 25. So if if you have a YouTube account, or if you don't have a YouTube account, if you can make up a YouTube account, or if you have a Gmail account, you can actually subscribe as well. And then you will be able to you could be able to subscribe, get me to that 25, and then I'll be chuffed. I will have reached a target for this year, which is 25 subscribers, and you will also be able to see when Wilson Waffling Live gets uploaded to YouTube every week. You'll be able to comment on it or like it, thumbs up to like it, or you will also be able to see when I upload my Wilson Waffling and Minecraft. And now that I'm on some annual leave, I'm going to try to make a cottage. Yes, you heard it right. I am going to try to make a cottage in Minecraft. Now, if you haven't seen any of my Minecraft videos so far, then by all means, what you need to do is nip across to wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and you will find over there, then there is Waffling in Minecraft there. You can just see it there, Waffling in Minecraft. Up to episode 7 we are. Made a holding pen and killed a zombie. Woohoo! Yes, I killed a zombie. So 7 episodes there, so go and have a look and see how I get on. Now, also remember, episode 8 and episode 9 is going to be all about my cottage, and I'm going to make a cottage. So if you're interested to see me how brilliant I am at making cottages, then by all means nip across there or keep up to date by subscribing. And talking about subscribing, then well, it's not actually anything to do with subscribing, but I just thought it was a nice link. This, believe it or not, is episode 10. I've done 10 Wilson Waffling Lives. Yeah, 10 of them. The most popular one with quite a lot of views, when if you remember, I had one that had loads and loads of views, and that was the one that I mentioned Calabro in. And so that got loads and loads and loads. The first ever one wasn't a Wilson Waffling Live, it was a Wilson Waffling chat. And I actually told elephant jokes for each subscriber I got. And so that was my very, very first one. And I think I actually got up to 7. And then I was just about to tell the 7th joke, and they left. And we didn't get any further than 7. So if you want to go back and watch Wilson Waffling Live, the first ever one, then it's on YouTube and you can subscribe. Excellent. And we're up to, this will be Wilson Waffling Live episode number 10. Number 10. And I think I'm going to call it Bars, Pies and Gates. Okay, that's what I think I'm going to call it. So we haven't had a picture of the day for a while, an image of the day for a while. So I've got an image of the day. So here's my image of the day. Have a look at this. Isn't that amazing? Now, as you can see, if you look very, very closely, just there, you can see set up or resting on the ground there, among the cobbles, among the gravel, there is an insect. There is an insect. I think it's a dragonfly there. And this was tweeted by Ben the Mackham, I think it is pronounced. But I actually follow one of the Twitter feeds that's called invertebrate_UK. And that is where I got the picture from. But it got me thinking about things to do with camouflage. And what a wonderful idea to do some work with children about camouflage, and to sort of like give them objects or creatures and get them to create a background effect to give them some form of camouflage. And I also thought it'd be really good at the end to sort of like put it up on display, because therefore you could have a big display with all these camouflaged creatures on, and then you could have a title on it saying, how many creatures can you see, or how many creatures are camouflaged. And it's also really interesting because you could talk about the 2 forms of camouflage, because there's camouflage when the animal doesn't want to be seen, because it's being hunted, and there's the camouflage when the animal doesn't want to be seen because it's doing the hunting. So two very different ideas there. So I thought that was a really good picture there about of this dragonfly. So if you want to follow at invertebrate_UK, then there's some really nice pictures up there. So back to this week's waffle, and to the next thing we're going to look at, I think, is this week's waffling on my blog, Wilson Waffling Live. So let's have a look. And today, you might have noticed that if you've been keeping up to date with Wilson Waffling, then you might be aware that there's actually two posts that have been up. This week. There has been prove that technology works in education, and the one that went up today, bars, pies, and making gates. Okay, and in prove that technology works in education, I get this question a lot. And the question I get a lot is always, okay, then, so prove to me that technology supports education. And in this blog post, what I try to talk about, well, what I do talk about, but it's whether or not you believe it or not, what I talk about is that, in my opinion, I don't have to prove that technology works in education, not because I think it does and not because I think it doesn't. Why I would say that is because I think that everybody has a personal style of education, and some people, teaching style that is, and some people use technology effectively in their teaching, and some people prefer not to use technology effective with their teaching. And this is where we get our teaching styles from. And a lot of the time, children will benefit a lot from a range of different teaching styles. And so it's not a case of everybody should use technology. It's a case that we should use it if we're happy with it and comfortable with it. And if not, then that's absolutely fine. There is no need to force the issue, because I think once you start forcing the issue, that's when you start to have a negative impact. Just like if you don't like teaching art and you go into a lesson all the time and keep saying, oh, I really hate this subject, but I have to teach it in any case, then that's going to have a negative impact. There are some times, however, when technology can support learning, and that is probably when it might be a good idea to seek advice, to go out and have a look and sort of ask people, what can I do to actually support it, to actually get technology to support my teaching and learning. Now, while we're over here, let's just look at something else that's appeared, a new poll. And for those of you who can't read at the moment, it says, what is your favorite subject to teach? What is your favorite subject to teach? Now, I think I've got them all there, but if I haven't, then I apologize, and please drop me a tweet or a message and I will alter it. But which one, and you can select multiples, votes if you wish. The idea is you can click, which ones are your favorite to teach. And we'll just have a look at the results, view results so far. So yes, so in the lead at the moment seems to be mathematics, science, computing, and PHSE. That's because I'm the only person who's done it. But look, they're up at the top. So hopefully mathematics is going to keep at the top. Hopefully mathematics is going to be at the top at the end. But we will see. So you literacy people, if you want to change it, you know where you need to go. So the other waffle that I produced today was called bars, pies, and gates. Okay, bars, pies, and gates. And this one is all about teaching tech and teaching data handling. And I actually read an article during the week in The Guardian called How to Teach Data Handling. And this is where it came from. And I thought, hang on a minute, let's have a go at writing some of my own here. Now, I'll go through it all in a second because you know I do that. But just to remind you now that within here we have the Rate My Waffle just here. Can you see it? Rate My Waffle. So you can either give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending how you're feeling. No. And I trialed this the other day with my poem, Mystical Oracle of Night. And then this, I've decided to pop it in. So this is to rate the waffle. So you can either click one or the other to rate it. So this blog is all about teaching data handling. Okay, and it's all about how I consider data handling to be taught. And if you've been in any of my lectures at university, then the first part of it you've probably remembered because it's called presenting the problem. And this is all about when I consider that it's not a case that you actually just collect data all the time with your data handling. It's not the idea of just going out and saying, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite bicycle? What's your favorite football player? It's all about addressing a problem and having a problem for the children to answer, and that problem requires them to collect data. So in this, the example I give there, which is rather than saying what is your favorite color, what you might say is that we're having a party. What color balloon shall we have? And that allows you, therefore, that the children might say, I need to think of shape and size and what it's filled with, either air or helium, and what color. And then, so forth, the children can then start to collect the data. Now, the interesting thing is that it would be really good if you can actually have that party to start off with, because that would be very positive and gives them a real life situation. But the children will then decide about the data collect, and then when they get the data, they then have to interpret it. And of course, that's the important bit, because just because 20 of the children want blue and everybody else wants different colors, do you get all blue balloons? Or does it bring in other areas of mathematics, such as percentages and ratios and proportions and things like that? So you can see how it sort of like links together. And I always tell the story in my session about a lad once who decided to ask everybody about football teams, because he was going to choose the colour of the home strip for the balloon colour. And I remember him coming up to me and say, Mr. Wilson, what team do you support? Now, I normally say, because he said, which team do you support? And he was wise. Because I used to reply to anybody who used to say, who do you support, Mr. Wilson? I used to say, I support my legs because they support me. Do you get that? Yeah. I support my legs because they support me. Now, the children got wise with that. And then they started to change it. And then you say, which football team do you support? So I suddenly had to think of a football team. And the only one I could come up with was Spurs. Now, I have no idea whether or not Spurs is actually the name of the football team or not. But I just said, Spurs. And they went, oh, right, thanks. Yeah, good, great. And went off. Now, I have no idea who Spurs are. I could Google it, but I didn't. I don't think Google was around then, actually. No, I think it might have been, yeah. So I didn't Google it or anything. So I don't know whether or not they were good or bad. So no doubt somebody can message me and let me know who I actually support. Or is there a better football team for me to support? So that was the first section of it. And then down here, the next thing I talk about is pies and bars. Pies and bars. And the reason I talk about that is because I think there's a great range of different ways to display data around the place. And we need to expose the children to all that, and we need them to pick up all the different types of data and see how it's done, and then decide which is the best way to do it. And although there's mathematical reasons for line graph or bar chart or scattergram or anything like that, I think it's important that the children decide what they do and how they do it, but also how complex they are to create, and what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of each form of data. So I write in my blog post in the Waffle about elections, because if you've ever watched elections on television, you get all these wonderful displays of graphics, about data and things like that, which is wonderful to watch. But also, you can capture that, but also on the internet and throughout on computer programs and things like that. There's different ways. And one of the things I suggest you do is either create a poster or you create a booklet with each different way of displaying the data and the advantages and the disadvantages. And you can use a little slogan that says, use this when. And then you can either create a display about it, or you can even get the children to each their little books, and a bit like we make written calculation books with all the different forms, how to do all the different calculations in. And you could do that, and then the children can have that ready for when they're displaying data at a later date. Now, finally, in this post, I talk about technology. Okay, and in this bit about technology, I talk about how initially technology was only used to support the presentation of data, but nowadays it can be used for a lot of different reasons and different ways of collecting the data, because now we have things like straw poll, if you've seen straw poll working, or Poll Daddy, which is what I use for my my blog post data collection and my rating. And these can be used to collect data not only in the class, but in the school via the virtual learning environment, or even to schools you are twinned with in different countries, or schools in different clusters, or anything like that. And you could link this to really important days, like, say, for example, Book Day, World Book Week. Rather than say what is your favourite book, which you might get a lot of different books, which means your data collection would be too broad, you might do something about genre. What's your favourite genre to read? Okay, or you might give a limited choice and say, if you had these books, which ones would you pick? And Poll Daddy, and programs like Poll Daddy, of course, you can import images so the children can look and actually click, and you can then get the children to create data or data collections for different year groups. What are their favourite reception books? What are their favourite year one books? So forth and so on. So you can see how this online polling, or this sort of like across schools, can be used effectively in a range of different sort of like topics. So down at the bottom, finally, I just sort of like mention here that I've started a forum on Wilson Waffling. And in the forum, you can log on it from at the top, and you can reply. You can reply to these posts, and there's an opportunity for you to put any programs that you've used, or any good lesson ideas that you've used, so we can share it with the millions, and everybody can sort of like benefit from that. The other thing that I have put on the blog, on my blog posts, if you're interested, is that just at the top, just in the menu bit, there's a new additional area that says Places Waffled. Okay, and it's up here, up at the top right hand side, just underneath this badge. And there I've started to put a lot of badges of where I've been and where I've waffled. And so you'll be able to see, here I am in Birmingham when I did my social media talk, where I got accosted by a beggar in Starbucks. Here I am in Oxford. This is not where I am at the moment, of course. Well, but maybe it is. Oh no, I think I might have given too much away there. Anyway, I'll glance over that. And here I am in Brighton. where I did beer last September. So that's another area of Wilson Waffling that I've added to there, just so you can see what I get up to. And finally, and you might have seen this, up on the top, I put all the badges that my blog gets. And at the moment, you can see there's some student awards, and there's the wonderful top in the top 100 educational blogs, which I was very pleased to receive. And there's also two more. There's teacher blog 575 and e-learning blog. Now both these relate to whether or not I'm tweeted or commented on and things like that. So if you do feel like commenting to get me up the ranks, or because you've, well, actually no, cancel that. I don't want you to tweet me and reply to me and add comments to get me up the ranks. I'd like you to add comments and tweet me and etc. if you find it useful. Okay, so kill what I've just said there, and just so like think, if you find it useful, and if you've got a moment, then please add something or retweet it or comment on it or share it with somebody on your Facebook page or anything like that, and then that would be absolutely fantastic, and demonstrate that I'm hopefully doing something that is helpful. Okay, so I don't think anybody was in the chat room today. I'm just looking over at my second computer. No, nobody in the chat room today. So that's fine, and nobody on Twitter either. So I think you're probably all relaxing somewhere and enjoying life. We're coming up. It's nearly half an hour now, so Wilson Waffling is coming to an end. So several things just before we go. Please remember that you can go along and you can either subscribe to Wilson Waffling, or you can post comments, you can share the links, you can look at the places, you can post questions on the forum. Remember, if you do any of that, then you will be entered into the Decide Now monthly poll, which will actually allow you to hopefully get a I Waffled with Wilson badge, which I will be pulling out at the end of the month. And remember also that if you have a spare moment anytime during this holiday, then I would really appreciate it if you could pop along to my channel and create subscribe to it so you keep up to date with all my content that I put up there. And I was trying to decide how I should market myself, and one of the things I decided was that I've got this catchphrase, I think, that's called the relaxed approach to education. And I think that's what this is. It's not a sort of like in-depth, really concentrated, hard-hitting. This is a relaxed approach to education. And that's what I hope it is. Some kind of dialogue, some kind of relax here, laid back, having a cup of coffee, together, and we're having a chat, a relaxed approach to education. So that's what Twitter Wilson Waffling Live is about. What Wilson Waffling, my website is, and my Twitter feed, etc. It is a relaxed approach to education. So I hope you guys appreciate that. So if you do want to tweet me at all, then remember that my Twitter name is at iWilsonYSJ, and you can tweet along with me and you can send me tweets throughout the show. I keep it monitored, or you can always enter the chat room if you're around and post some questions on there. By all means, remember that one of the things I would ask you to do is to tweet your answer to where you think this is. This is where I'll be tweeting from, if you remember. This is the same picture just without me on the front. Hang on, 3, 2, 1, here I am. There you go. So you can tweet me where you think this is, and then you'll be put into the I Waffled with Wilson badge. So, hope you've enjoyed this week's Wilson Waffling. I will be around maybe next week. I might take a bit of break. I'm actually on annual leave at the moment, but I'm still waffling. So by all means, keep subscribed, keep coming along, but look out for the Minecraft video because that should be a good one. That should be a good one. So I hope you've enjoyed the waffle, and thank you very much for listening, and I will see you all next week. Catch you later. Can I just say, that was the worst ever ending ever. So I apologise. I will be slicker next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.